My ass feels so loose. Take that however you want. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tyler and I help people burn fat, build muscle, but ultimately move better than they ever have before. Today I'm going to be taking you through some of my favorite leg day warm-ups as of right now. I've been switching up my leg day training a little bit. I've been working on some weak points within my kinetic chain, and I wanted to share it because I think some of these warm-ups would be good for, well, a lot of people if they decide to apply it. So I'm going to take you guys through that. There's about 3 or 4 exercises, and I'm going to show you them and do a voiceover with it. So let's get started. So this has become a new favorite of mine. I'm walking backwards on a treadmill here from a stationary position. I actually picked this up from knees over toes guy, and this is really awesome to kind of kick on the posterior part of the legs. But also I've noticed like I'm getting a mean quad pump from this, so highly recommend. Next up, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've heard me talk about these billions of times, are deep goblet squats. Normally I like using a kettlebell, but the gym didn't have any, so I'm using a plate here, 25-pound plate. Basically, this is the best thing I've ever used to mobilize my hips and ankles in a deep squat position. You can really see I'm pushing the weight down on top of my knee to really emphasize dorsiflexion, or the knee over top of the ankle. This isn't bad, despite popular belief that your knees going over your toes is a bad thing. It's not at all. Next up, I'm doing reverse Nordics here. I've never found an exercise that allows me to really strengthen my hip flexors in like an isometric position until I started doing these. As I get more and more loosened up, I tend to work a little bit lower and lower. But here I am just trying to get some blood flow into my quads and open up my hip flexors, because my right side specifically gets really stiff. So that's the idea behind this one, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Then another one I've talked about a lot are hip airplanes. I'm particularly fond of these because, one, if you have back pain, sometimes it stems from immobility of the hips. And with this one, you're actually taking the hips into internal and external rotation. So they're going through their full range of motion. And honestly, when I'm done doing these, like, my ass feels so loose. Take that however you want. But my hips feel extremely loosened up. And I find that I can actually sink into a deep squat position with some ease, to be honest. The last thing I'm doing, because I'm doing a quad focused squat focused day here, I'm doing pause squats before I get into my actual squatting, simply because I used to lack a lot of coordination from the glutes out of the hole in the squat, so the deep squat position. And what this does is it allows me to kind of fire that peach in the deep squat position at the bottom here and really kick on the glutes to fire out of the hole, if you know what I mean. So these leg day warm-ups have made, honestly, a huge difference in my leg days lately. Like I said, the walking backwards on the treadmill, I never would have thought of it, but it really does. Even though it's supposed to help with like knee pain and stuff like that, I get like the juiciest fucking pump in my quads from doing it. It's actually really surprised me. That with the reverse Nordics, I think are a really great way to get some blood flow into my quads, especially if you're doing like a quad focused day. And then the hip airplanes and deep goblet squats are a really good way to open up the hips. I mean, the deep goblet squats are good for opening up your ankles too, but it does both with the ankles and the hips, and it's just phenomenal. I couldn't recommend something more if you're trying to really work on your squat positioning. It's the way to go. The hip airplanes, I actually learned from a back doctor. You don't have to do them assisted like I was doing, but doing the assisted ones really allowed me to get into the hips and feel the muscles kick on for internal and external rotation, something that I used to struggle with a lot. So I couldn't recommend any of these any more than I already have. So if you guys took anything from this video, drop a comment down below. Let me know what kind of leg day warm-ups you guys like to do, or if you even do them. And then leave a like on the video if you took anything from this. Let me know what you want to see more of down below, and I'll see you next time.